Yeah, so you're welcome, everyone. So yeah, so this is our Starknet Uganda Basecamp. We've handled in the previous sessions. We've been handling a lot of technical stuff, but so this since this is the last session, so we are gonna be handling a roadmap to to implementation of our skills. We've been doing a lot of coding, but then in the end you can ask yourself, well, I've learned all this, so where do I apply this? So maybe for someone who wants to build a career as a developer in blockchain, so this session is basically for that. So nothing so technical. So basically, we are looking at what are the opportunities. So, and one of the opportunities we have is so you can build your product and make a business out of it and earn money. Then you can as well use your skills, the knowledge you have acquired, and make a living out of it. So I saw it befitting to bring us people who are really doing that. Yeah, we have a we are privileged to have Jovan. Jovan is a good friend and is a co-founder of Oneramp. So Oneramp is really doing well. We are proud to have him on the call. Then as well we have Mr. Oshioke. So Mr. Oshioke is a Nigerian. He's a Nigerian blockchain developer, and yeah, he's really he's doing contributing a lot on OnlyDust, and is actually earning off his contributions on OnlyDust. So, guys, I want you to write down any questions that you have that you want to ask these people. Yeah, so maybe you are wondering, so what is in the end, where does blockchain lead me? Where do I, maybe you have a lot of questions. So probably this is the right time to prepare those questions. And yeah, so first I'm going to start with Mr. Jovan. So Mr. Jovan, kindly you can just unmute, and in this session I just want you to, I understand you are a technical co-founder. So briefly, someone who we have a lot of newbies in the Web3 space, like people who really they don't know the roadmap to take, and they're like, okay, I've been learning Web3. How do I go about it? From your perspective as someone who has built a product from scratch, and so, what are the opportunities? How can you? What are those motivations? Really, the building journey is really tough. So, how can you encourage this person? What roadmap do they have to take? After maybe acquiring all these skills, and yeah. So, and then maybe you tell us why they need as well to build on Starknet. Why Starknet should be someone's favorite, maybe L2 right now. So, from your experience, yeah. So, Mr. Jovan, you can take over. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if I'm audible well. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. I always like sharing a few of my small ideas that I have. The idea of building, I think, for me, in my opinion, revolves around solving problems that we have, on like on the base level as a continent. So if because I know most of you guys are already technical, you've tried out the tech, and I think one of the things that we always think about after you've acquired the skills, you've built a few projects here and there. Most of the time, the other path that you could take is, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to to apply for a job? Am I going to apply for internships? Or am I going to, you know, build a product and launch it out? And I think both paths are valid, and all both paths have their own challenges, and you know, all of them have their own challenges and and achievements that you could get from them. But in my opinion, I think the better option that I would love is to that I would take is to build products, because I think when you build a product is one, you identify a problem that you have and you build a solution that solves that problem, as out of your skill set that you've acquired throughout the chain. And most of the time all these problems come up as a result of you building. So if I've been learning, let's say, Cairo, and I've built a few smart contracts here and there, then I would realize that okay, maybe I can use this portion of this tech to build a solution that can help us. So if let's say I love the fast settlement times of Starknet and its high throughput, then I'll realize, okay, what if I combine that with tech fee, with if I combine that with let's say mobile money or bank, then I can come up with a solution. So for me, my idea would be to the roadmap is very simple. After you've acquired the skills, because I think the education and learning how you can move along when you're building, that is clear. That is clear. The documentation of Cairo and Starknet, how to build a Starknet is clear. I think the hard part comes in whereby, okay, now after all I have this knowledge, where am I going to acquire them? What kind of solutions am I going to pick up, and what am I going to use them for? And like I said, going back to Yata, I think it all starts from playing around with the tech, build a few smart contracts here and there, build a few products here, and then through those products, it's where you will come up with, you know, solutions to a few problems that you've come in. For us, the idea behind Oneramp came as a result of building a few products, and then we realized that it was very hard for getting users to Onramp onto our few products that we have built, and we had built a few APIs in the product. So you just had to pull it out, and when you pulled it out, we had the product that we could, allow others to integrate into the system. So it all comes around testing out the tech and building, a few products here and there. And through that building the products is how you're going to identify very, very good problems. As Starknet has a chain, I think in Africa, the chain that promises, the L2 that promises fast confirmation times, the chain that promises very cheap fees, and the chain that promises high throughput is a friend. Because why do I say that? Because I think most of the solutions in Africa, one problem that we have, most of the problems we have in Africa is one, most of our people are unbanked. Two, we do not have a lot. Most of the people do not have the resources. So I'm talking about resources. I'm talking about internet. I'm talking about the devices. I'm talking about all this digital information and access to them. So unless you're building for another sector, but I think if you're building for the large mass, you really need to think about how your users are going to use, how are they going to have access to the tech. And one thing that revolves around that is it cheap? It has to be very cheap. Is it fast? It has to be very fast. You know, does it settle very well to the user, and how complex is it going to be for them? And I think Starknet checks all of those boxes. It's very nice, because I think we had a script we were using one time in OneRamp, and we were doing it on mobile money. And I don't know if you guys know what USSD is, but essentially it's like this offline way of communicating with your server. and it tends to be very slow sometimes because it's using these telecom masts. So, and so we were doing it on Starknet sometimes, and we realized that with Starknet, you didn't even have to wait for the confirmation on the blockchain. So let's say someone has initiated the payment, and and you want to settle it on the blockchain. You couldn't show you had to kill the session on the user's phone, and maybe when the transaction settles on the blockchain, then you send them an SMS and tell them, okay, the transaction settled. But with Starknet, we didn't have to even to do that. We could just let it hang, and it hangs for a few seconds, and then you confirm. So the user wouldn't even notice that the settlement was live on the blockchain. We didn't have to kill it to show them an SMS later. No, we had to leave it to play around to go through the USSD session, and the transaction when the transaction settles on the blockchain, we show them a successful screen right there in their phone, and it was very nice. So I think a chain that allows you to do that, I think it's a very nice chain in my opinion. Yeah.
So, Mr. Jovan, there is a question right here. And that question is, what advice would you give to someone with both a finance and technical background who wants to make an impact in the blockchain space?
Oh wow, I think that's the best combination that you can have if if you're if you're into this space. Personally, I came into the Web3 space. I didn't have a very good financial background, in my opinion. So I had to go and relearn a few things about finance, and not even the deep things, like the few the few technique, the few basic things just to get my idea off and running. The good thing I have, my co-founder is has a very good and deep financial background. But I would say if you have a very good technical and if you have a very good technical and financial background, that is a very amazing combination that you can have if you're entering into the blockchain because one, it cuts across. We know very well that blockchain is like Web3 is all revolving around finance and tech, you get. And I know very well that the financial system has a lot of things that are lacking in terms of of settlement times, and the blockchain is really coming to tackle those solutions. And the reason why I say it's a very good uh, angle to come into the tech is because you know the problems that you can see as a financial background, and you can see, let's say, you can see where the blockchain can enter in. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend that I was talking to a few days ago, and he knows these things about treasury bonds and stocks, and I did not know anything about them. And I was talking about Web3 with them, and he was like, "Whoa, do you know that this can do this? This can if you can implement blockchain in this and this and this, it can help with this." And he was talking about how government was selling bonds and all that stuff that I didn't understand. So sharing with him an idea, there's a way it cuts across, and you could see that from his angle and his perspective, you could see various gaps that you could fix into blockchain into. And I think if you come from that background with the technical side, man, you are set up to win, in my opinion. Yeah.
Mr. Jovan. So, guys, in case you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. Maybe the other question that I want to ask Mr. Jovan is, can you explain maybe your developer journey? Building is really hard. Yeah, building, first of all, when you're building, you are just being optimistic that because you can build and the business doesn't work out. So there is, and you have to survive as a person. And in Africa, it's still our experience as builders is really a bad one, whereby you have to get all pieces right. You have to survive, and at the same time you have to focus as a creative. So how did you go about this journey? Maybe share with someone. Someone could be at that point, when they have this fancy idea which they want to build out, but and in the initial stages of their developer journey, they haven't yet figured out. Maybe they don't have a job, and you need money to to pay bills and that. So how can you help such a person?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I don't think I've had anyone ask me that. But I think the first thing that you need to do is, man, you have to build it. You have to build it. You don't have to know the whole pieces in one place. I'll give you an example. W- Oneramp didn't start as it is now. It started as, I think it was over USSD thing. You get, and the reason why I'm telling you should start now, because most of the time your first idea is not going to be the correct one, or it's not going to be the right one, but it's going to give you head start, because let's say today you launch an app that is meant to do, let's say, shared accounting. I think in my country they call them circles. So people come, they put money in the pot, and then they get distributed per month per user, in a certain order. And then you build it out and you launch it right now. And then through there down the road, you realize that, okay, uh, these people are, are doing it, but they would need another feature, maybe that, let's say, that allows them to withdraw money before the month ends, or they would need a feature that allows them to take loans out of the pot before their turn comes in, or they would need a feature that allows them to borrow and lend money upon each other. So these ideas, you're not going to get that idea up front before you build it. You're going to get that idea as you build. And the good thing about this is you keep on polishing your app, you keep on polishing your product, and you keep on moving towards a great market. I love how they talk about how you could target the whole market. So you target everyone, and when you target everyone, you realize that, okay, I can niche it down to where my real customer is, where my real client is, and I'll find myself where I target the core problem. So if you have an idea, I think it's best to start it out right now. Like, if you can do it tomorrow, if you can do it today, just put it out there and share it on LinkedIn and share it on Twitter. And another thing, why you should build it even if you do not have funds, because I don't think, when you're building in Africa, most of the time you don't build with money. You build, as telling me, in Africa, you build and the money comes. And then when you don't have money, how are you going to build without money? But regardless, you have to build. So, and I think it's easier to have a discussion when you have something. Let's say you're sharing a platform with maybe one of the person that would allow you help you within their products, or would you pitch yourself to. I think, in my opinion, I think it's easier to share when you have the products. Let's say you're talking about, and this happened so much when we had gone to eat safari, where people are talking about what they are building, and it was easier to have a very fruitful conversation with someone when you're explaining to them what you have. Let's say it doesn't have to be the best idea, but it has to be an idea. And then through that, you realize that that is how you could get, you know, good feedback. That is how you could get good advice. That is how you could get good, very good connections, in my opinion. So I think when you have an idea, don't waste your time. Just go ahead and build it out. And this is how you can get access to a few parks. This is how you get access to grants. This is how you're going to get access to funding. This is how you're going to move in a way. And it's very difficult to do that if you do not have a product, or if you haven't put something out. And I think that's the main reason why the first question you're always asked by someone is like, "Hey, what are you working on?" It's easier to have that conversation, and when you have something that you're working on. So the idea doesn't have to be refined. I think most the best products start with a very rough idea, and then through execution, through pivoting, you find yourself polishing the idea, and then you come up with something solid, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Jovan. So my other question can be that, okay, I know you've been one of the beneficiaries of some of the grants of Starknet. So it's easy for because it's at the end, if at all we are looking for support, and so if at all someone has never seen that person who has been a recipient of the Starknet grant, it's easy to doubt. Yeah. So, and for me, I believe that this is the best time to build in Web3, because literally there is some support compared to Web2, guys. So can you just maybe tell us in terms of uh, the opportunity, like from Starknet? Yeah. So what I want you to put out there to maybe our listeners is that you guys, these companies want us to build. There is some financial support that they are giving us. They may not give you a lot, but just giving you a Kickstarter now, like at least for I'll talk about what I know, the Starknet grant. It's can be a serious push. So I just want you to throw more light on that, because at least I know you've been a recipient of a Starknet grant. So yeah, how has it pushed you? Maybe just that.
Yeah, I think it was very helpful. Like I said, in Africa, it's not as easy as it is. Okay, I think other places it's also hard, but I think in Africa it's a little bit more difficult to raise money right from day one. More so, it's even I would argue it's more difficult to raise before you build. You get. So you find that if you're building a product that is so much liquidity intensive, like let's say Oneramp, so it involved having some cash at hand, and it had to allow us to move money from mobile money and crypto. So ideally, we needed to have some funds upfront. So, and which would be very difficult if we had anything. So this is where the grants are really, 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 really helpful. If let's say you don't have a very big technical background, but you have a solid idea, or you have some bit of technical background, and maybe you need to have some cost that you want to catch up. These grants are very nice. I think we didn't get the Starknet grant fast, but after a few applications, we got it, and we got it. I think we got it like 3 times, and it was really, really helpful in my opinion. And when I always compare this to the Web2 world, whereby with Web2, it's very hard to get money from let's say any platform. Let's say you're building off of the APIs of Google. Let's say you're building off Firebase, you know, and you want to get a grant so that your app scales very fast on Firebase. I don't think even Google has those grants program. Even if they are there, I think they are very difficult to get. But Starknet has them, and most of these chains, like you say, it's all these chains want products to be launched on their platforms. So they need you. They need the builders. They need you to get to onboard the next 1 billion users to on-chain, and it's only going to happen through your products. And the only way your products are going to thrive if you have support from day one. That is if you had support from the time where you didn't have the most resources. This is why they're giving you these grants and opportunities. So I would suggest that use this advantage. You know, the grants are there for you. I remember one time when we were getting our last Starknet grant, and the lady was like, "Hey, you need to put out the word there. Go tell your friends. Go tell your people that the money is here. Go tell your people. Put out the word out there. Tell them to come and apply for the grants. We need them to come and get the money." And in my mind, I was like, "Man, these guys are begging us to come and take their money." You know, and it was really funny. So it's there. If you just have to be ready, you just have to get your product polished up, you know, and present it as you think it is. You know, present the problem as you think it is, and be confident in what you're working on, and you'll get the grants. You'll get the grants. So man, the money is there. You go get it. Go get it. Because if you don't get it, they're going to go back and take. They're going to take it back. They're going to take it back to Silicon Valley, and and the cycle will continue. So don't be afraid. I've seen products that are very, very young get grants. So because one misconception that I had personally, I thought that these grants were given to products that are very established. They have launched. They have a million transactions in volume. They have this daily volume has to be at a certain amount, and no, it doesn't have. Our first grant for Oneramp, we had it and we had barely made 1,000 transactions on chain, but we got it. We got it. I saw one that got the grant without even having any transaction on their product, but the product was solid. They were tackling the idea, and they needed to go and cover marketing costs. They needed to go and cover event costs and awareness and all of that. So that grant pushed them up, and they're thriving now. So man, if you have that idea, these grants they don't go and suffer with money, don't go and suffer with loans. Just use these grants. Just use these grants. They're here to help you.
Thank you so much, Jovan. At least that really explains. Guys, in case you have any questions for Jovan, you can just type it in the chat. Yeah, because he's soon like we are soon getting in another speaker. So guys, in case you have any questions, you can just write it in the chat, then we can be able to ask him any questions. Guys, I believe you guys have a lot of questions, because at
Yes,
least many of
I have
us.
a question. I have a
Yes,
question, please.
yes, go on. Yes, go on, agree.
So I wanted to know an insight about maybe other niches in blockchain, because from the most of the time I've been in blockchain, it has been crypto, tokens. But I've heard that the blockchain can also work in other niches like supply and logistics, real estate. So I want to know what it's like in those other areas of blockchain. Are they feasible? Is it a good area to invest time in and build products for those niches, or it's still down for now? That's my question.
Yes, so Mr. Jovan, I think that question is directed to you.
Man, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think one of the biggest misconception we have is blockchain is just money, and which really kills the point of why we have Ethereum. Remember, the reason why we have Ethereum and all these L tools was because Bitcoin was just money. So we were invented to do something more than money. How can we have information stored on blockchain? Because Bitcoin is just money, and we want to have more than that. So, and right now you could say that the hot topic of blockchain is money, but there are very many use cases. There are very many use cases. If you can, one explanation that someone made to me was, if you can find a way of representing something in terms of numbers, then you can probably put it on chain. So the example you talked about was real estate. So if you can find a way of of transforming the information about a home, information about an asset, and you can find a way of transforming it into a digital form, then you can probably put it on chain. Another example that I really, really love is music. There's a project on I think it's on Solana that allows user. I think it was built on top of NFT tech, and these guys have built a music streaming platform that that means music as an NFT. You get, and it's like Spotify, but it's on blockchain. And every stream that is streamed, the money, like if I listen to a song for let's say 1 second, and it calculates that 1 second, and the funds go to the creator, so it's direct to the creator. If I listen to a song for let's say for 5 times in a day, you know, all that listening time is converted into microseconds, and that microseconds are converted into money, and that money is sent directly to the user. So it's direct part of how long you listen to a song. So that is a very good. That's another example of what you can do with blockchain. So don't limit yourself on funds. Don't limit yourself on money. There are very very many ways you could innovate through the blockchain space. The thing about hype and trends, one thing that you guys need to understand about trends is trends don't start when you hear them. So right now we are talking about AI agents. We are talking about um, meme coins. Let's say the moment they come and blow out everyone, that is not the time where that is not when they started. No, they started a few months ago and then they blew out and went on mainstream. So when NFTs blew out to the internet and everyone was talking about them, that is not when they started. The development of NFTs started 3 years, 2 years back. So right now we could be talking about AI agents, but there are people who are cooking up, let's say, digital assets. And within 3 to 4 years' time, digital assets are going to be the best product that everyone needs to jump into. And the products that position themselves at 2 years back to build on digital assets are the ones that are leading the forefront. So don't follow a trend right now, just be early on the trend. So, like you talk about real estate and tokenization of real world products, go and work on it now. Go and work on it now. Then, when the trend comes, you'll be the number one market. So, and that is a very big sector that is not really represented, in my opinion. I think the only product we have right now is Polymarket. So, Polymarket, what Polymarket is for you guys who don't know it is you could predict on real life events like a betting platform, but with the real world assets embedded into. So let's say I would say um, is so there's a football match happening, let's say today, and I'll bet, let's say, is Chelsea going to win or PSG is going to win, and you bet between each other and and make money, and it cuts across. So they find out digitizing the real world information, put it on chain, and they let people bet through each other. And another product that I think would be good to have would be if we have a product that finds a way of tokenizing like stocks, like American stocks, Tesla, Apple, and I would trade like how I would trade them, but instead I'm trading the tokenized version on the blockchain because it's very, very difficult to have a broker account in Africa. So if I could have someone that have that product and I would buy Tesla and buy Apple like how it does on their side, and it's just represented. So you can see that it's a very wide market. Just if you find a way, if you can find a way of representing a real world asset on chain, then you can probably put it on chain. Yeah.
Maybe to add on a little bit about after that question, do you have if any real world projects that are in that niche that are not entirely crypto, but also like maybe we can get inspiration from such real world projects and see if we can build similar products or maybe something different from them.
Yeah, I have before Mr. Jovan answers, I think you can look up Alpha Block. So Alpha Block is tokenizing real estate, and yeah, it's doing well actually. So I happened to be one of the boot camps where the CEO of Alpha Block was a facilitator, and he told us Alpha Block is based in Kenya, and he told us that so he realized that about 70% of Kenyans who live in the diaspora, the money they send back home, their investment, they channel it into real estate. And he was like, this was a good opportunity for us. So all they do is that they are easing investment in real estate. So they are tokenizing real estate. So Alpha Block is really a good use case for real estate, how they are tokenizing real estate. And yeah, I think they are doing well. So you can check up Alpha Block as well. Maybe in case Mr. Jovan wants to add.
Yeah, I think that's a good example. The other thing that I've seen people do is you look at what kind of product is available in Web2, and you ask yourself, can I put it on chain? You get. So if I have Spotify, can I have a Spotify version on chain that maybe you remove the middleman, and because Spotify is, if you want to upload a song to the Spotify, you need to go through music distributors, and then they cut a cut of your cut, and then by the time you get revenue, it has been cut through like 5 to 10 people. So if you could have, you ask yourself, can I have a blockchain version of that whereby it's direct stream to the user, to the artist's wallet? That is a good way of finding good ideas of such products.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jovan. So any other question before Mr. Jovan ends? Any other question, guys? Any other question for Mr. Jovan before we bring Mr. Oshioke on board? Okay, I think there is no question. So guys, you can follow Oneramp. I've put Oneramp Twitter handle in the chat. Then you can follow Mr. Jovan at Real Jova on X. So I have as well put his Twitter handle on the chat. So yeah, if at all there's no any other question for Mr. Jovan, so thank you so much, Mr. Jovan. We are really grateful, and yeah, you inspire a lot. So keep on doing what you're doing, and yeah, so one thing with our ecosystem, the Web3 ecosystem, I will speak for Uganda basically because that's what I know. You realize that it's still so small. Like every effort which is really, and I know this same thing is happening in Tanzania. So you realize that even in the whole world, the Web3 ecosystem is still small. So anyone who's really helping to lift up someone, maybe anyone who's really inspiring, anyone who's really trying to build a block, maybe you built a product and it's a good inspiration. So we appreciate every builder, and so we appreciate you so much, Mr. Jovan. And yeah, thank you so much for being an inspiration. And yeah, I know many people are watching you. So yeah, I think in case you have any final remarks for us, then
My final remarks is just keep building. We need to see those products. I have very high bets in this group. I think I'm looking forward to see products coming from this community too. Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Jovan. Thank you so much. So guys, that was Mr. Jovan, co-founder of OneRamp. So we are gonna have another speaker to talk to us, and that's Mr. Oshioke. So Mr. Oshioke is a top contributor on OnlyDust. So I remember sharing with us about OnlyDust. So are you passionate about contributing to open source code? And you're wondering, how do I earn off contributing to open source code? So Mr. Oshioke is the right person to ask in case you have any questions. So Mr. Oshioke as well does Starknet. Like he's good at Starknet. So Mr. Oshioke, I want you to Mr. Shoke is from Nigeria, is connecting in from Nigeria. And yeah, because one good thing with Web3, our communities are interconnected. So I met him through David of Blockheader. And yeah, so I really love that because of that interconnection, you find that there is knowledge you find that knowledge is easily shared. So Mr. Shoke, the floor is yours. So kindly, uh, all of us here are builders. Guys have just been in the base camp. So, and maybe they are wondering. So after this knowledge, how do I earn how do I earn? Maybe I'm passionate about coding. How do I keep on earning from my coding? And what should I do next? How do I because open source itself is not easy. Open source contributing to an open source project may seem so abstract. Yeah, so someone may be like, okay, where do I start from? What do I need to do? What tools do I need to do? What do you know? So what is the best report to start for a beginner? And it's very easy as a novice to always have this imposter syndrome. But guys, I want to let us know that imposter syndrome affects everyone. Even me personally, I still have that imposter syndrome. But I've come to realize that you just have to get there and do. Someone was telling me that there is no gatekeeper, so the gates are open. You don't need to ask for permission to do something. So just go out there, make mistakes along the way as you learn. So Mr. Shoke, so the floor is yours, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, please, can you guys hear me? Hello? Yeah. So, GM, everybody, my name is Oshioke Salaki. I'm thankful for the opportunity. Oh, yeah, I'm thank you for the Starknet Uganda community for giving me this platform to talk to you guys about OnlyDust and open source contributions. So, yeah, my name is Oshioke Salaki, and I'm a Starknet developer, and I have been contributing to open source for about 1 year plus right now. So, the major problem that we have right now is that, oh, you've learned how to build smart contracts in Cairo, you've learned how to build front end and integrate your smart contracts to it. But how do you now, like, what's like the next step? Because how do you gain experience? Because the next thing that you want to be looking for is like a job. But for you to get a job, you need to have like experience. Everybody will be like, oh, you need 1 year experience, 2 year experience. But how do you get that experience? So that's what OnlyDust provides for us in through incentivized open source contributions. First of all, what is open source? Open source is basically code that is open to the public for people to contribute to. So you know how we have applications like GitHub, Twitter. You can't have access to those codes because those codes are not open source. But projects that are built on the blockchain, let's say Starknet, they are open source, which means that people have access to the codes. They can see, like they can clone the code and run it on their computer or their machine. And basically like that, that's what open source basically means. You get me? It's contributing to projects that are open source.
So Mr. Oshoke, now where does someone start from?
So in
I've
help.
just shared the yeah.
Yeah. So people like need help in building those products for people like you, people that are fresh off boot camps and they need the experience and they want to test out their Cairo skills. So these projects, they create issues on their projects. So those issues, you can go through the issues of a project and see that, oh, this issue I can easily tackle it with the skills I've gained. You can apply for that issue. Then once you're assigned the issue, you work on the issue, then you create a pull request, then it gets merged. So with that, you've already contributed to a project on Starknet. that is live already. So that adds to your portfolio. You can say, oh, there's this project on Starknet. I have contributed to this. I contributed this. I implemented this feature on this project and this project and this project. So that gives you that experience across different types of projects in the Starknet ecosystem. And it's all done through OnlyDust. So what OnlyDust does is that it brings together projects from both the Web2 space and the Web3 space from different ecosystems such as Starknet, Stellar, Fuel, and so on. So if you go on onlydust.com, you see different Starknet projects written in different languages, such as you can have you can have issues in Cairo, issues in Next.js, JavaScript, React, and so on. So what what only does is that you can just go to the platform, look for issues that match your skills and things that you can easily tackle. You apply for those issues, then you fix the issues by creating pull requests. And once they are merged, you've added like a silver star to your resume in the Starknet ecosystem, all through OnlyDust. So yeah, you might be asking, so what is the gain? So obviously people want to do things to gain something, right? You want to be able to like make money from it. So OnlyDust does this thing called open source fellowship, where open source fellowship, where the top contributors top top 30 to 40 contributors are picked every month for a 3 month period where they extensively contribute to multiple projects in the ecosystem. So and, and during those 3 months, they are given stipends. But before you can be accepted into that fellowship, you need to be a top contributor, which means that you need to be contributing in both quality and quantity, but mostly quality, because we want to you cannot be you need to be able to contribute like qualitatively. It's not like you'll be doing small issues. Obviously small issues like help, but you need to be able to make impact in your contributions. Maintainers and project owners are supposed to say yes, this contributor really put in work and really implemented is a solid feature for us. They did this amazing work for us, like something that was like it's huge. So as you progress in your open source journey, you keep contributing to many projects. You keep contributing, trying to be in that top radar. So when applications roll out for the fellowship, you can easily apply and you can be selected for the fellowship. So that is how OnlyDust works. I am currently a fellow in the Starknet ecosystem. So they select fellows for Starknet ecosystem every month, I guess, or 2 months. So yeah, the OnlyDust platform is very easy to navigate. So you just go look for projects that you are interested in, read about them, go through their readme, see, oh, this project does this, does that. And if it's something that you're passionate about, you can you can join their Telegram group chat to get updates from the maintainers. Then you can be following up with the maintainers that, oh, I'm currently working on this issue, but I'm running into this error, running into that error. So this builds your communication skills in like a real work environment because you are interacting with great minds in the ecosystem, interacting with fellow contributors, project owners, and so on. So you can see how important contributing to open source is in the Starknet ecosystem. And before you know it, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you build like a solid open source resume in the ecosystem, and that really helps you for future possibilities. You can even be contributing and maybe you have an idea, a project that you want to work on that you feel like is going to like do amazing. You can actually put your project on OnlyDust. Then you can hire, like not hire, but contributors can come to your project and also contribute to your project. And you can and depending on the momentum of your project, you can get support from either the Starknet Foundation or OnlyDust itself. So that is how like OnlyDust works. And for the past 1 year, I can say that like the open source and contributing to open source has really changed like my perspective of things because I've worked with a wide range of projects of different sizes. I worked on issues both big and small. And I can say that, oh, it has given me that experience and that skill level that is required to tackle any problem that may occur in the future. So it keeps you on your toes. So that's how it works. And by contributing and contributing well, maintainers can recommend you to other maintainers because because you know how referral works, right? Because if you do work well for a project, and maybe another maybe the maintainer has another project, the project owner would not think twice before giving you another issue because you did the last one so well. So that you build because some people make the mistake of carrying issues that are too big for them, issues that they cannot solve, and that damages their reputation. You get me? So imagine collecting an
Miss,
issue that you don't know how to solve. That one,
Mr.
that
Oshoke, there
creates
is a question here. Someone
okay.
someone is asking, where do you get the notifications from, like an announcement showing that they are open source projects?
Okay, so OnlyDust has a Telegram community. So that is where all the information, all the announcements are being made. Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys been following so far?
Yeah, we are following, sir. We are following.
Yeah. So your reputation matters a lot in the ecosystem. So you try to contribute to issues that match your skill level and don't overshoot it. Then there's this thing that OnlyDust has called open source waves. So it's like a 2 week sprint where the top Starknet projects in the platform bring out bring out plenty issues for their projects that people can contribute to. So during those 2 weeks, there are going to be a lot of issues that are going to be opened up across several projects of different sizes. Then you can pick as many as you want. Then you can contribute to them. So I think the next one is going to be held on the 22nd of July. So it's going to run for 2 weeks. So on the 22nd of July, many projects are going to be opening up new issues. Then you apply for those issues. Then once you get assigned, you get to work. Then when you are done, you create a pull request. So that is how it works in a nutshell. So I don't know if there's any question.
Someone else is asking that which community so that one can join. I think the Telegram. I think they have a Telegram, right?
Yeah, yeah, they have a Telegram. That's the
Yeah. So
community. But
I'm going to
but
forward.
other projects,
Yeah.
uh, but other projects like in the projects on the platform have their own individual Telegram communities. So in order to find those Telegram, you need to you go to the project on the platform, then you see socials. So you get the GitHub URL and the Telegram URL for those projects. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr.
So is there any other
So this
question?
one saying, so I just go to Telegram and search for open source. What I request I've shared here only dust.com. So
Yeah,
in case guys you want to check it out, you can just go,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's maybe the other question can be uh what how do you because open source contributions kinda when
Mm.
you are there is always that imposter syndrome. So how did you go about it? Like it's always like how can I contribute
Okay,
on something big? Yeah, how do you go about that imposter syndrome of contributing?
okay. So um, as for imposter syndrome, everybody gets it sometimes. What you just need to do is that you just need to believe in yourself. Like you know you can handle the situation, you apply for it, that you put in your best. And one thing is that the community is very welcoming in the sense that if you have any challenges with your issue, you can always text the maintainers directly. Oh, I'm having this problem. So they can even offer to even jump on a call with you to better explain like the problem. Then you can move forward from there. Like everybody is willing to help. If you have any question, any complaint, you can always like put it out there on the Telegram community.
Okay, I think that best explains it. So maybe the other question can be so if I told someone is just a novice, do they have like a specific time?
Mm,
Maybe if at all they have listed their issues and you've picked out an issue, do they have a specific time where you're supposed to have solved the issue that you selected? Maybe like in their issues they have maybe 10 issues and you've picked out one. Do they be like, we've given you 2 days, we have given you 3 days to have solved this? Like how does it work?
Okay, as for the timing of the issues, the most important thing is to give feedback to the maintainers, right? So obviously you are working with time. So you have to submit all your PRs before the ending of the OD wave. So before the ending of the 2 weeks. But obviously you won't use a whole 2 weeks to solve one issue, unless it is very, very big and complex. So as you're solving the issue, they're always going to be asking you for updates and feedback. So you are going to just give them that feedback. So you can use like about a day or two to finish an issue. So yeah. So it depends on the size and the complexity of the issue. But if it's a small issue and you are delaying, the maintainers will obviously know that you don't really know how to solve the issue. So they might unassign you. Or if you're unresponsive, they will unassign you. So that's how it works.
So thank you so much. Someone is asking, how does one earn after contributing?
So if you're as time goes on, you grow your skills, then you can.
Can you
Yeah.
repeat that,
Hello?
Mr. Shoke? Can you repeat that?
Hello?
Like about the earning bit. How does someone earn?
Yeah. So the way people earn is through the fellowship. As you contribute and you grow your profile, you, they are going to always be releasing a form for the OnlyDust Fellowship. So you keep on applying. Then when you are selected, then you earn from there. For 3 months. That's how earning
Oh,
works.
I
And
get
if you
you.
have
I
a
get you.
project, if you have a project that you want to list, if your project is like putting out more plenty issues, if your project is moving and progressing and onboarding new contributors, you're also going to be eligible for grants.
So any other question, guys? Agri, do you have any question? Any other question you want to ask Mr. Shoke? Agri, do you have any question about this?
No, I got everything. I'm okay. Maybe you can question.
Okay,
I
thank
got
you.
everything you're saying. Yes.
Okay. Any question, guys, before we let Mr. Shoke go? So this one is asking, does that seem that you don't earn on every project you contribute, or does that seem that you don't earn on every project you contribute? Can you highlight a little bit on that?
No, you don't. So now only does is to pay for every issue that you do. The United only does is to pay for every issue that you do. But they found out that many people were gaming the system. So they don't do based on quantity anymore. It's based on impact. So that is why now they've shifted their model to this fellowship model to make sure that to make sure that they reward people that are actually consistent and people that actually take the whole thing very serious. So that is how it works now. So now, and even when you get into the fellowship, you have to meet up for that month. You have to contribute adequately for that month. If not, you'll not be paid for it.
Wow, so they
Uh,
are actually
You see?
looking at they are looking at your consistency.
What?
They are actually looking out for your consistency.
Yeah, your consistency and impact.
Okay.
I have one more question. Though it's not about
Okay.
only that. So, Mr. Olise or something. I don't know. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Mr.
Mr.
Shoki.
Oshioke.
Mr.
So, apart from only that, depending on your experience in Web3 for now, do you know of any maybe job opportunities for newbies apart from open source contribution? Because I believe open source contribution can give you the experience and maybe help you connect with other people. But do you know of any job opportunity someone can be able to look out for, like maybe front end, golfers, and all that? Do you know of any that someone can be able to look out for? Or maybe which platform someone can be able to go and search about the jobs and know about the roles that they have to play. Because I've seen jobs like smart contract auditors. I don't know any other jobs that are for entry level people that are trying to get jobs and start earning before they contribute to the open source.
Mr. Shoki, hope you had the question. Mr. Shoki. Yeah, so agree about the jobs. I will
Also, please can you
about
repeat the question?
yeah, agree. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, I was asking a question. It's not about only that. It's about based on your experience in the blockchain technology up to now. Do you know of any opportunities where people have gone from maybe with their skills, they can apply to those jobs like I've seen Web2 or content developers. Do you know of any jobs like that people can take advantage of, or which platform someone can go to be familiar with such jobs and maybe the roles that they play when they get such jobs?
Um, for that right now, I'm not really sure of such, but there are always ones that you can check online. But for now, I just know of only those. You. But what I know is that if you constantly contribute to a project, and like the maintainer is like happy with your past contribution,
Yeah, that's right. Agree to add on that. So
you can
me as
actually
a
hire it
person,
to their team. That's it.
yeah, I will
Can you-
try to add
Mhm.
on Mr. Shoke's submission that uh in last week I just someone reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they have this chess that they are building, like a chess game. And so they had a developer who happened to be from Ukraine, but because of some few conditions they stopped. They
Mm.
could not continue with that developer, and this person was like, okay, can you please help? And then he sent me all the details, the GitHub, and he was like, can you be so at this stage we are trying to finalize everything, how we can work together. So what I'm trying to tell Agre is that opportunities are always there. Now, like, I didn't know about this person, but he just reached out to me because they checked out my profile and they checked out my GitHub. So for me, I believe opportunities are always there. Yeah, as long as you have the skills and you know what you're doing. So, but the first thing is, can you actually do the work? Yeah. So agree that. So there is another question for you, Mr. Oshioke here. So how someone's asking, how can I take part in the fellowship? I mean, to be part of the fellowship. So this upcoming fellowship, how does someone join?
So I guess the um so how they join is that if you check on the Telegram group chat, the community head has already sent like a link for applications. But new developers obviously cannot get in because they don't have any track record as of now. So once there's going to be a link that's always going to be sent to the group when applications have started. So then you apply, then you get an email whether you are in or not. So that's how it works.
Thank you so
So when
much.
so when you get accepted, it's a contract that you sign, then you start work immediately.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there any question for Mr. Oshoke? Guys, any question? Yeah, thank you. I think she has understood it. So any question for Mr. Oshoke? Any question, guys? Guys, are we at par with everything? Do you have any question? Maybe anything that you need to ask? I think guys are content. So yeah, I think guys are content. So Mr. Shoke, thank you so much for highlighting to us about OnlyDust. We really appreciate the time. So this one is asking, so is it the only dust community? So is it that the Telegram? All I know that there is Telegram at the end of their page. So someone is asking, is it the Telegram community? I don't know what they're trying to mean by that. Can you please be clear? What are you trying to mean? Guys, I'm going to share a Telegram. I have the Telegram. I'm part of the Only Dust Telegram group. So I'm gonna share it in our WhatsApp group, and yeah, I'm gonna share it. I'm part of their Telegram group. So thank you so much, Mr. Oshoke, for really elaborating to us about the opportunities, and yeah, we are so much grateful. Yeah, we don't take it for granted. Thank you so much, Mr. Oshoke. Any final remarks for us to students here?
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity, Starknet Uganda. So one thing I'll just say is that you guys should just keep on building, keep on contributing to open source. There are so many opportunities that you can tap into when you contribute to open source. So yeah. So no matter how small it is, just keep pushing. Just be pushing peers every time. Look at new projects that are coming up in the ecosystem. See how you can contribute or to like put your footprint in every project that you come across. And also, if you have any idea, also don't be afraid to like push that idea. So just keep building and building. That's like the only thing I have to say.
Thank you so much. We are really grateful. And yeah, guys, I think you've heard it from someone at least who is earning off only dust. And yeah, so I think you heard it from it's always good to hear from someone who is doing it. So all I can tell us guys that let's keep building. There is a lot of resources out there. So me personally, I can always help you. And yeah, even all these videos are available on our YouTube channel, Starknet Uganda. So in case maybe there is something that you don't grasp, you can always go and check it out. So thank you so much guys, and yeah, it's been a pleasure. I just wish us the best in this journey. I know building is really can sometimes mean to get so lonely, and it you can mean to get a bit depressed, but you just have to continue doing what you have to do. And yeah, let's hope for the best. Yeah, me personally, I will keep on sharing resources with us, telling us about, because one thing I realized also being part of communities helps a lot. When when you go out there and you meet a fellow builder, there is where they kind of try to motivate us. So guys, thank you so much, and I'm always open in case someone wants to reach out. Yeah, thank you so much guys. And yeah, so we are gonna wrap up the session from here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Oshioke. Thank you, Jovan from Oneramp. So guys, that's been, so this wraps up our base camp. So the videos are available. There is, even this shall be uploaded. So i I want to encourage us to keep building. Yeah, so Agra, I received the thanks. So I want to encourage us to keep building. And Starknet guys has a seed grant. So there is a community project that we are working on. So who knows, it can win the community grant, or it can win the Starknet grant. So yeah, guys, just try to be so involved in something. Don't let the knowledge that you've acquired go to waste. So thank you so much guys. And yeah, so yeah, you're welcome. So guys, in case there is a project which it's not yet complete, but we are working on, and it's a good idea as a community. Most of the students who have been in the base camp, so we believe it's a good idea. And yeah, some of you haven't yet joined, so you should reach out to me. And yeah, maybe your contribution journey can start from there. Yeah, so thank you so much guys, and I receive all the thanks. So thank you, Mr. Shoke, and thank you everyone, and I wish us the very best. Yeah, let's just keep building.